So I know that Lucas has a great question. What is it?
How to deal with frustration in practice.
Mm-hmm. So tell me more about that. Frustration in practice, how to deal with it.
When practicing, sometimes you just get frustrated because you want something to get done the way you want it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go this way, and you just lose your motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to know how to deal with that.
Now, is this about your technique or about your partner's technique, or?
No, my technique.
About your technique. So you're working on your technique. You want it to go a certain way. You want your technique to be at a certain level.
Yeah.
Or is it like in this moment, I'm trying to kick my partner, but they moved, and so
No,
I'm frustrated by that.
First thing there's that.
So my technique in general sucks right now.
Yeah.
I'm frustrated by that fact, which is a human thing. And so you lose motivation because you feel this lack of success.
Yeah.
And this is such a widespread experience that we've devoted the first 2 ways of, actually on some level all 5 ways of becoming great at martial arts to this very idea. So patience, you know that if you keep, if you continue to do it over time, it will eventually get better. Perseverance, if you keep trying, and again, the failing is necessary to learning, so you keep doing it even though you fail. Practicing hard, because you got to pour yourself into it, practicing exactly what you want to perform, doing all the little details, and then meditating. Meditating is going to help you deal with the frustration part of it. And I'll say this. This is on the grand level, just all about the human experience of, I have a desire, it's not met, thus I'm unhappy, I'm frustrated, I'm whatever, lose my motivation. And so, like with anything else in life and in practice, you have to recognize that, well, the reason that I'm losing my motivation and getting frustrated by this is because I'm not getting what I want, and it's kind of like I'm being a baby about it. So that's helpful, first off. It's always helpful to recognize when you're being a baby about something. And that's not me saying that directly to you, that's me saying that to every human being that's ever existed. But you'll find that what is very helpful in a situation like this is to not focus on the result, to focus on the work. So you may have heard me talk about this before. If we're focused on the results, and the results don't live up to expectations, I have no choice but to be frustrated. If instead I focus on the work that is to be done, in this case, let's take the front kick. If I'm focused on just throwing more front kicks, and I get the details, and I rep it, and I do it against mitts, and I do it in the air, and I do it in a form, and I do it in sparring, and I just do it, and I focus my attention on the effort, then the results will come precisely when you stop looking for them. It's like a washed pot never boils, right? If you're constantly looking, that frustration will always be there. And it may or may not cause you to just completely stop practicing, but it will cause you to not be in the moment in the way that you want to be for your technique to get better. So really on just a practical level, just let it go. And that is so difficult to do. And that is like part of the real work of our practice. And if you take meditation, have you ever gotten frustrated with your meditation before? Yeah, me too. Like pretty much every time I meditate. I was having this conversation with Dina last night about meditation. She was saying about how she felt like, well, sometimes I sit for a 20-minute meditation and it's like 19 of those minutes are awful. It's like I'm not meditating, I'm just sitting and thinking. And then 1 minute is good meditation. And I told her, like, that's what my meditations are like. But I just, my meditations are better than they used to be. And I still recognize that most of the time I'm just sitting there thinking. So what there is to do is not give up and stop meditating. It's to focus on the work. When I'm sitting and meditating and I recognize my mind wander, I bring it back to the breath. That's the work of meditation. When I think about meditation and I think, oh, it's going to be such a chore because I'm bad at it, and I have this experience of not being successful with meditation, whatever that is. When I have that thought, I just think, okay, the work is to sit. It's all I have to do is sit. And that's it. You focus on that, the rest will take care of itself. And it seems like kind of a cop-out answer, like just keep doing it and shut up. But it is the deepest form of wisdom that I have for you right now. It's the only thing that's worked for me. Other question? Is that a question? Yes, ma'am, Leah.
Well, I don't have a question yet, but
I'm sure it'll come.
I offer 2 quotes that can answer any question.
Wait a minute. No. This is my class. Do you have a quote that you want to ask me about and give my interpretation of?
Sure.
Great. Let's hear it.
Sure. They're actually related quotes, but it's like for discussion. One is from Lao Tzu, which my mom gave me, and I'll say it first in Chinese.
Wait, here, stand up. You're going to do all that. We better put you. You don't want to go on tape with this?
I'll sit here. It's really short.
Can you hear this? Go ahead.
It is from Tao Te Ching. Sang Xian Ye Shui means water is the highest element, the purest element, because it flows from up to down. So the message of that is humility.
Is there another one that you want to give too, or you want me to talk about that one?
Another one that I can think of is Bruce Lee. You like water.
Yeah. So you want me to talk about water? I could talk about water forever. I love water. It's the only thing that I drink, for the most part. I really like this quote from the Tao Te Ching. Water as the purest element because it flows from top to bottom. And for sure, humility is one of the best lessons, the most important lessons of life and of practice. This question that Lucas had is all about humility, really, because you guys might not know this to I don't know, be in my martial arts school, I guess, but I was bad at martial arts when I started. In fact, it was one of the worst things I felt like when I first began, like it was the thing that I was the worst at out of pretty much anything that I'd ever tried. That's why I love it so much. And it's in part because the humility. In the very beginning, I started and I was like, I can't do anything right. I don't know how to do this. Punch this kick. I get beat every time I spar with somebody. My grappling is terrible. And for some reason, I thought, this is amazing. Like it's such a fun time because I'm a beginner or a white sash or a yellow sash, which is all still kind of being a beginner. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be bad, and there's all of this room for growth, and that's great. And the really interesting thing about it is the more I practice and the better I get, the more I realize how bad I am. And when I say bad, it's subjective, obviously, but compared to what's possible. And so it's sometimes very easy to, be the top dog and like look down on everyone else in the dojo and think I could beat all these people. But I know that if I'm if I'm in the world of comparing, then I should also compare myself to everybody else out there who, believe it or not, there are many people out there who would just beat me. So there's always that opportunity in practice and in meditation and in Tai Chi, of course, to practice humility. And Bruce Lee's Be Like Water, some of you guys have maybe heard him say the full quote, and I'll paraphrase it terribly, but it's like, water, it takes the form of whatever container that it's in, and it flows and it crashes, and it can be like hard as steel, and it can be soft and supple. And to be like water is really, if you take the idea of like water fills up whatever form it's put into, that's also like a form of humility. If you're grappling with somebody and you have in your mind this idea of a technique that you want to do, and they're bigger and they're better than you, or they're at least stronger, and you have this attachment of the technique, you will not get it if your partner knows how to resist or defend. But if you're like water and you fill up this space that your partner allows you, they're really inviting you to do some other technique. No matter where they are, there's this invitation. And if you can be like water and flow into that space without the ego, without the attachment, with the humility of accepting whatever it is, the situation that you're in, then in the moment you'll do what's the best response. So yes, those are wonderful quotes. Other question? I'm fine if there are no more questions. I can stop talking right now. It looks like that's what we're doing. So, when you're meditating today, be like water, and you will find the moment to be very inviting for your consciousness to fill up, and the moment will also be very inviting for your ego to fill up, to fill it with stories from your life or from your day, to fill it with anxiety, to fill it with some kind of thought of anything. And you have to let all of that go and get the invitation for the moment to just be, and to let the ego go, be totally humble when you recognize that you have not been meditating for the last 19 minutes, and spend that last minute in complete, just completely there, humble to the experience of this breath, this moment. Sit.